Alright guys, it finally happened. Welcome to version 0.115.0 alpha. This update adds the campsite objects and new signs to your islands, as well as a lot of other things that are a blast, such as all this fire everywhere. This update is fire, guys. This is an incredible update. Obviously, it's mostly just the new placeable outdoor objects, but there's of course improvements and updates and everything else. And in today's video, we're gonna go through all of it. So let's jump straight into the list of added placeables that you can now place on your party island, including small and large tents, campfires, wood piles, burnt piles, rock circles with sands, hammocks posts, tree trunk posts, arrow and number signs. They added new placeable food and storage objects such as the marshmallows and the marshmallow stuff, including with that, the standing roasting stick, the roasting stick itself, a stick barrel, a large bowl color variant. We'll get into that in a moment once I actually go to PonyTown to show all of these, but this is kind of an interesting change here. Small and large blankets, small and large starry blankets, large pillows, pillow blankets, throw blankets, and of course they added new posters and long wall ropes. They gave us the ropes, guys. I really didn't expect us to get ropes of any kind, but we're getting ropes, which is crazy to think about. They added new placeable light objects, which is the tiny and small flames, as well as the medium and large fires. But the improvement-wise, we have improved behavior on touchscreen devices with physical keyboard controls. So if you have a weird device that has that, it's going to be improved and better. They also improved the behavior of losing connection while walking. So when you lose connection while walking, you shouldn't continue to walk on other people's screens. So whenever you like reconnect while walking or something like that, you shouldn't just log back on and be like 1,000 miles away or anything like that. You should still basically be in roughly the same area, or at least I believe you should. That could mean something completely different. I don't know. They also fixed the flipped inkwell with quill not giving a quill. So if you have your inkwell on your island, it will now give you a quill, whereas before it might not have because it was supposed to and it just didn't seem to. Now they also fixed ground tiles flickering when moving around. This is important because if you are prone to epilepsy or it was bothering you before or something like that, it no longer bothers you. So welcome back to PonyTown. You can come back onto PonyTown because that issue will no longer bother you. They also fixed lit held items shining through water. This has been a known issue for a very long time, and it will no longer shine through the water, which is a weird, awkward thing. They didn't fix it for everything. I think it still shines through other objects and stuff like that, which we can test here in a moment. But they also fixed held items not immediately being animated after being placed on tables. So if that was ever a weird thing for you, then that is also fixed. They also fixed left eye resetting after leaving and rejoining. So if that was another issue, welcome back to the game because it's no longer an issue, right? Fixed light animations being synced after joining game, so the light animation should be synced for everyone now. They also fixed inability to join if Pony is overly complexed. This is a weird thing. I don't actually 100% know what this means, but apparently for some reason, if your pony was overly complex, it just wouldn't allow you to join the game, I guess is what this means. But now, again, welcome back to PonyTown because it is no longer an issue, and that means you can now hop on with that overly complex pony. They fixed getting disconnected with cannot read properties undefined error. So if that was bothering you before, it's no longer an issue. And they fixed custom public, friend, and party filters not applying to commands run by other players. So if you have filters and other players are using it, it didn't used to fix it for some reason, but now it does it. Now it actually filters them. They also fixed some words causing text expressions that I'm assuming were unintentional, and of course map errors. This is a huge update, of course, but I'm sure you guys only care about the new placeables. So let's jump straight into the game where the new placeables are and take a look at all of these new placeables. Here I am on my island. Of course, we have the large tent right here as well as the small tent. And if I get a paintbrush here, we can actually change the color of these to basically be whatever color we want out of the rainbow. Look, there's even a little brown tannish one there. That's kind of nice and lovely and everything. But there is all kinds of colors here, and of course it starts with red whenever you're placing it on there. We have our rock circle with dirt in the middle, which is an interesting idea. I kind of like that they split this up into two different kinds of things, because otherwise I would have to get a dirt tile or something and just hope that I can line it up right, and it would look really awkward and weird because you can see the edges there. So I'm glad they changed it so that you can actually have both versions. I think that's an excellent addition. A campfire that is lit, and we have an unlit version. This isn't a mistake. There's not just two of these. This is an unlit version. So if I actually switch the time to be night real quick, you will see that this should light up any second now, and now it is lit. And if we go back to time day, it will now go back out and be its own thing. And of course, if you want one that's just always unlit but still burnt, you have this version. Why is this not going out? Why is this not going out? That's supposed to go out. It's day now. What the hell? Is that a glitch? Is that not supposed to... There it goes. Okay. It stayed on for way longer than it probably should have, but as you can see, it will eventually go out. And of course, we have one that is not on fire yet, so you can roleplay and like have this here and then like delete it and place the one that's on fire to kind of roleplay placing fire or something like that, right? And of course, we have some blankets and hammocks and these new posters, which I think are lovely. I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet, but I feel like I have a great idea with them. Just right on the tip of my tongue. And of course, all the new ropes and everything. This is brilliant. Rope holders and little ropes with tassels, which is going to be lovely. I can't wait to see what people do with those. Of course, we have this tree trunk post thing here, which is lovely. A bunch of new blankets. And again, these also have color variants, just like the pillows and the hammocks. They all have color variants. You can change them to whatever. These are blankets, and they are lovely. You cannot change the star ones, of course, but hopefully in the future we can get even more blankets, some that aren't just stars. Maybe we can get some that have like something kind of lovely, maybe even throw on Fez on a blanket or something like that. But we also have these other blankets, which are like throw blankets and things like that. So they also come in different color variants. So there's a lot of new blankets and stuff to play around with. These aren't curtains, and they're not layered in a specific way, so you can just sit on top of them. It would be lovely if we had versions where we could sit under them, because it is a blanket after all, but that's a debate for another time. Now, of course, we have the mushrooms. We have, of course, the marshmallows on a stick, and if we take this to our fireplace, it will actually start lighting up, and it will eventually burn and everything like that. But there's a fun thing with this too, where if I actually get my paintbrush, I can actually change I keep wanting to say mushroom. We can actually change the marshmallow to be the different variants of the marshmallow. Like, we can make it as burnt as we want until it's basically a piece of coal, which is kind of nice. And of course, we can do that to all of the ones that are on these sticks. We cannot do this to this bowl right here of the marshmallows, but I think it would be absolutely hilarious if we could paint this to make it like a slightly burnt bowl of marshmallows, and then like slowly just make them until they're like as black as this burnt marshmallow here or something like that, but in a huge bowl. I think that could be fun. Of course, we have a hammock post. It comes in all three of its colors, and the bowl. This is something I wanted to talk about a minute ago, but we're going to talk about it now. So the bowl is actually interesting because we used to have two different bowls. It was like a wooden bowl and like a ceramic bowl. It was like just bowl and then like wooden bowl or something like that, I believe it was called. But now there's just one bowl, and it changes colors to be the wooden bowl, which is an interesting concept. But if we actually go on here and type in wood, you can see that a wooden bowl does not come up. And if we type in bowl, there is still the small version, but if there's only that's actually kind of weird that the like small version didn't get a color variant, but the large one did. Why'd they do that? Actually, how did I not notice that a minute ago? But the large bowl now has a color variant, which basically just turns it into the wood version. For some reason, they didn't do that with the small bowls, which is what I'm just now discovering. That's really strange. I don't know why they didn't do that, but it is literally just the same. They had, unless I'm mistaken, maybe this is what I thought. Maybe there was always only one large bowl color or something. Am I losing my mind? What's going on? But still, either way, the large bowl can now turn into a wood version or the ceramic version. Your choice, and it's all on one item. And this, I believe, is not for any of the other items. So like the fruit bowl can't change its color. The small salad bowl, of course, they can change their color, but they can't get like a wood bowl version of it. I really don't know why they don't just do that now, but I don't know. Maybe they're still playing around with bowls or something. Bowls are just weird right now in PonyTown anyway, because you can't really use them for anything, so it's just a whole thing. But anyway, the bowls are changed, I guess, or maybe they were always like this and they only just now added this version. I have no idea. I thought personally that there was never, like, they used to be split into two different items and now they're one item, but I don't know. Maybe I was thinking of these two items. Either way, the most important thing in this update, forget all of this camping stuff, because this camping stuff is great and everything like that. This is all wonderful stuff. This is all great. We have fire and the tents and everything like that. But I personally think the most important thing in this update is the signs. We can even forget about the fire down there for a second, because these signs, I believe, are going to be the biggest part of this update. This is going to be something people use a ton of. So, of course, we have the regular sign. So if I just type in sign here real quick, you should be able to see that we have the arrow sign, which is this one down here. And, of course, we have the large sign, which is this one at top. And then, of course, the number sign, which is this row at the bottom. I don't know why it's just called, like, large sign. I feel like it should be called symbol sign, or, like, sign symbol or something. I feel like they could change the name of it because it's not really large. It's actually the same size as the other signs, but I digress. Anyway, this is super big. This is a super big deal because this is going to be used in like mini games. This is going to be helpful to tell players where to go, where to do certain things at. They added a bunch of new versions of the arrows, which is lovely and excellent and everything like that. We have check marks and do not enter signs basically and hearts and stuff like that. Even this pony face, which I think we used to have a pony face, but I don't think it was as good as this, or maybe I'm thinking about the pony face that's in the default sign because there is one right here. And there's also this home sign here and all kinds of other stuff here. There's definitely some stuff that's going to be done excellent with this. I can see people using the hammer for like build things or something like that, where they're doing a maybe like a build battle or something like that, and it's like pick one of the spots that have that or something. I don't know. It just might make it look a little bit better. But these number signs are amazing because there's plenty of mini games that already exist that even I have come up with that are just, I have to like physically draw a number with like grapes or something like that. So like give me a grape here real quick. I used to, wow. Oh, I guess that's called a berry, technically. That's dumb. Whatever. You used to have to, like, draw numbers with, like, the berries by placing a dozen items here, and that took up a lot of objects. I mean, that's probably, like, 15 objects right there, at least. Probably 20 plus objects just right there alone. But now, if I want to just say 3, I can just put a 3 sign down, and that's one item now instead. Or I can say 23 or something like that, right? Or I can say 27, which is how old I am, and I'm getting old, and I don't like this anymore, so let's stop talking about signs. But because we have fire, guys, we have fire. Now, you can't pick it up like you can on the event server, which is a little bit of a shame, but you can just set yourself on fire by just laying in the fire, and this is a lovely thing. I think people are going to have a blast with the fire, and this, I personally think, makes the update very lit, or very fire. This update is fire, you know? I think it's excellent. I don't know what I'm going to do with the fire thing yet, but it's going to be awesome. I already have the studio up here for the bad games that I was using to like have like on fire or whatever. So let's say time night real quick so that we can see it. So you can see like I had the studio like basically be on fire before, but the way I did that was by just placing these things down or just candles, whatever. Now I can just place actual fire there and it will work just as well. And you can still walk in front of it, but it'll still work just as well. In fact, I may even be able to spread that fire around more and add more fire around the studio or something like that. But that's another time. That's discussion for another time. I think this update is amazing and incredible. And by the way, if you're curious, you cannot land inside the fire pit. I don't know why they didn't do this. I guess they decided that the collider is it's just going to be too messed up. Technically, you can get inside of it because you can just like move it out of the way and then just place yourself inside of it, but you can't just normally fly inside of it, which is kind of a shame again because you kind of fit in here pretty comfortably, I would say, but you can't land inside there to do any of that. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this update video. This was a lot of objects and everything like that, so I'm gonna have to update my giant objects list and my giant object wheel or whatever, but that's another discussion for another time. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please do consider liking, subscribing, sharing, and doing all of those wonderful things like that, because when you do wonderful things like that, not only do you get access to wonderful content such as this, but you also get to become wonderful yourself, and I think we all want that. So do those wonderful things, and until next time, stay wonderful.